Let the smoke fall. Keep the ash long. Shadow smokers. Let the smoke fall.
Yeah, I gave you a seat at the table. You try to flip it. Now you eat off the floor. Lee Jones. Let's talk. They slid the paper on the table thinking I would fold, trying to put a heavy price on a story never sold. Fuck the gatekeeper, loyalty is at an end. You were preaching brotherhood just so you could go pretend you claim to hold the samurai code just because of the name. But you bring the ancestors nothing but the grief and shame. You ain't got the honor and you ain't got the heavy sword, just the plastic grinding. Who went and broke his own word and the wannabe warlords. You acting loud and you bold, but you posing there for nothing. And the story is cold. And Mr. Midnight claiming that you were the contender. You stole away the credit, you were lying fake pretending. Now you streaming video games and you hiding your face. You ran away from the industry and in total disgrace. Let the money burn slow, let the ego die fast. We build a legacy that was destined to last. It's the Legion, yeah, we stand on the concrete. Fearless leader up front, and we own the street. No snakes in the grass, just steel in the spine. We taking back the clock, yeah, we own the damn time. No snakes in the grass, just steel in the spine. We taking back the clock, yeah, we own the damn They wanted the control, yeah, they made a big mistake. We got hot box Joey, never been for a fake. He's scrubbing out the chat and he policing the stream. Banishing the trolls and protecting the team. And send Pappy Rick, keeping the socials on lock. While Michael Holt
Hey guys, welcome to the Soy Assassin. Welcome to today's Random Friday again show. I don't know why I'm doing Friday whenever I'm not eating. Because if I'm not eating, I got a lot of time. So if I'm not eating, I got time. And I really needed a reason for me to go smoke. So I need a reason. And if I need a reason, I find a reason, you know, kind of. Yeah. So, I just got this today. And it's not something big or never happened before and all that stuff. I mean, I know few, there are a few people that actually bought this, but I figure I use that as an excuse to be online and have a cigar. Okay, so we'll do an unboxing on this thing. Why I smoke, right? As to why I'm gonna smoke, that's a good question. I'm gonna pick something that is not very strong, right? You know what? I know what I'm gonna. I think I need to have a. I will have a Naranja. Naranja is what I'm gonna have today. There you go. So while I unbox this, I can have a Naranja. Something like that. All right. So, and technically today is actually the Legion's birthday. But we're celebrating tomorrow because tomorrow I get to eat, I get to drink. So I'm doing that tomorrow. So today, let's not mention that. But happy birthday to the Legion. All right. So let me take this out and smoke it. Hold on, and then we can open this up. Take a look. I mean, our Presidente is smoking an EP Carrillo Encore. That might be too strong for my stomach right now. Like I already don't have food for more than 2 days. Tomorrow afternoon I get to eat. Tomorrow by 3:30, 4 o'clock I get to eat. So I'm gonna smoke something light. Like something to have. It's funny that I could smoke with completely empty stomach. Like I can't really do that day one. It really feels horrible, but day two I can. Day one, I feel really horrible afterward. Day two, I can. But I have some zero sugar soda and some zero sugar Powerade to keep me alive. So I should be okay. All right. Let me see if I can open the table cam. Boom. Ooh. Here we go. Yeah, move that a little bit. Here we go. So, nice box. Nice box. Experience Luxury. Cohiba. Big O. Red dot. Weller by Cohiba. Once you open it, put that right here like that, is a front. No, once you have protein shake, then you're not fasting. You're not fasting if you have protein shake. So I'm completely with, basically I can only have liquid only, just soda, zero sugar, no carb, no calorie kind of stuff, basically. So flap open, you get Weller by Cohiba, this humidor. Yeah. What is that? All right, let me take it out. All right. Now inside, there's information for the 4 cigar that was included in here. But that's if you know, yeah. I guess, yeah. All right, but the main superstar, right here. They call this a humidor, so I'm gonna say that's a humidor. It's a humidor. Okay. The other side is the same thing as this. Bottom, velvet. Front, 2 doors. So take it out, open it up. Well, actually, this doesn't rest. This goes all the way down. Okay. Take this out. Shipping foam. Take that out. This is what you get. Let me close this back up again so I can just that. Okay. 2 cup, 4 cigars. I think the previous one had 3 cigars and the previous one had 2 cigars. It just gets more cigars as they release it. I'm not too sure. I did buy it with a bottle of Weller, of course. Well, let's take a look at this thing. I think all these are inserts, so this, yep, they all come up. Inserts. You get a cup. Oh, this is actually a nice cup. They're like the thermal cup. Their insides are very tiny. Ooh, insides are very tiny. Right? It's those thermal layered cup. It says Weller and Cohiba around here. Right? Inside, very small. You can see the outline of the inside. So you get 2 of these, which is nice. They don't really land on the table that well, but sure. So you get more inserts, inserts, and inserts, and you get this humidifying tray because it's a humidor. So it's like this, but you get to this is really rough. Look at the, oh, see that? It's really rough. They cut it, yeah, but it's rough. This you can put Bovita pack in there and then shove it to the side. And And then you get that 4 cigars. Shove to the side. And this is just a cube. It's nothing. So, ultimately, at the end, you have a box and a divider for your loose cigars. Like that. Which isn't bad. I think that's pretty good for loosey cigars. This is how I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it like this. I'm gonna put a cup to the side, a cigar to the side. I'm gonna use it like this. Why not? Because I have a lot of loose cigars that I don't particularly open up and smoke, and this will be perfect to fit into a collection, I guess. Hold on, let me see. I don't think this will fit their largest pack, because the largest pack is bigger than this for sure. So this will probably fit some like these. What's it called? 60-gram packs. It'll probably fit 2 or 3. Like how many you want to fit it? You know? Yeah, you'll probably fit 2 or 3. You can fit a lot in here. You can, honestly. Pretty sure. You can't fit it upward, so you had to fit it. Yeah, you can fit 2 in there, but overlapping a little bit, I guess it's not too bad. Not bad, not bad. So yeah, I will use it like this. I will put the Cohiba somewhere else. Actually, you know what? I'll just keep Cohiba in here right now. For now. And yeah. And all these things are just, I don't know. Like usually I will keep it in its own original box and never touch it. But if I'm gonna use the humidor at all, it's not really, there's no point to keep a box I don't have 4 cigars. In terms of how I'm gonna season it, I'm just gonna put a small container of water in there and then let it sit. So basically, this is what I'm gonna do. I am going to take one of these cups. I'm gonna put the still water, and I'll leave it in this thing and keep it closed until eternity. All right. So this is what I'm gonna do. All right. I will demonstrate. You take the still water. And you put it in the cup. In fact, there's 2. I'm gonna put 2. Like that, inside. And I gotta put Bovita pack in here. I'm gonna put dry ones. Some dry ones in here. So it continues to work as intended. Yeah. Yeah, dry ones. It'll work as intended. And then I'll put it to the side. That's it. The end. I'll move it later. So yeah, that's how I season it now. That's how it's gonna be. That was quick. See, here's the thing. I was expecting some other shipment today. It never showed up. So I couldn't do it like a 3 or 4 item unboxing. But you know, there's some stuff coming in. I bought a Playboy cigar, which I'm kind of expecting it to come in a week or so. Long Live Tiberius sent me some cigars. So I expect that to come in soon as well. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. And whatever else I bought, I don't remember what else I bought, but there are stuff coming. Now I start to slowly packing the package and stuff like that. Like, you know, my wife's been buying Amazon stuff or little stuff for my dog and stuff like that. So they come in like tiny boxes, and I've been collecting those boxes so that I can pack the Christmas presents and start sending them out. Because I start to pack them. I send Joey's out first because you know, he was one of the easy ones to send. Some of the ones like a cigar, I have to put just the cigar in an envelope, and I usually use the yellow bubble wrap envelope. Can't find them. I don't know where it is. So I just had to pick a time to do that. But I hope you guys have a good Friday right now so far. For me, it was relatively uneventful. You know, on Friday, since I'm not eating, I'm spending majority of my time doing nothing because this is made by a third company that used the trademark of a Playboy to do that. I'm not too sure. I haven't got it yet. It's a box of 10. Cigars like not expensive at all. So once I got it, I'll get more information about that because I just saw that on Half Wheel. Really, I didn't even know it existed, and I went ahead and just ordered it. Yeah. Kingmakers is the brand that made it. So Kingmakers announced Playboy collaboration. So that's what it is. Hey, right guy. Have you tried the Lambaba 601? Yes, I have. I tried a few. In fact, I think I tried all the way to 4 or 5. 4 or 5, and I bought the kit that actually have a challenge coin that looks like a bomb. If I can see it right now, I'll take it, I'll show you. Oh, here we go. Yes, I admit it. I still don't have all my cigars on the shelf. Some of them stays on the ground because I know I will never smoke them. But yeah, I have like these. So I don't really smoke them. Like this one, I bought it as a collection kind of thing. I smoked a few before, but they're way too peppery for me. Way too peppery for me. So it's not something that I usually smoke. Hey, long live Tiberius. El Scorpio Maduro 2020. Okay. I got the best NE in the bombshell. What's NE? Sorry. I'm not sure what you're talking about. What's NE? Nice ashtray. I have the same one. Ashtray. Ashtray. Which ashtray are we talking about? I didn't even show you ashtray. I used the Shadow Smoke's Legion ashtray. Oh, the Waller is not the ashtray, it's the cup. It's the 2 cups. It's the 2 cup and the 4 cigar in there. I got a Lambamba in the bombshell container. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, I've seen those. Those are, I think, released last year, late last year. Those are pretty cool. You can send your peppery cigars to me. I could. I mean, that's the thing. I never really send cigars to El Presidente because he's one of those people that I know has a lot of cigars. And usually people have a lot of cigars that don't like ask people not to send them cigars. So I usually don't send our president. But hey, our president, if you want peppery cigars, I got some. But you might not like them. Did you try one? Try one of the 601 or try one of the Weller? No drama here. No drama, no venting. No drama. I am not gonna drama and vent on the birthday of Shadow Smoke's Legion. You kidding me? No way. No way. I'm just enjoying a cigar today. I figure, Friday, birthday, I still want to come up to say happy birthday to the Legion, even though the celebration is tomorrow, I still want to say it today. So I gotta find a reason. The cigar, no, I have not. I have not. I literally did not even buy it. I think ever since 6015 or 6, I stopped buying them because I know that every time I smoke one, my nose burns to death. So I stopped buying them, and because even the Espinosa's other cigars, like the anniversary and the 10 years, the La Zona, and it's all peppery to me. Like the best I can smoke from them is actually the like Murcielago and stuff like that. So they're not strong smoke. They are medium plus to full. I get it, but what kills me is the pepper that burns my nose. Everything else is okay. Everything else is okay. It's just the pepper. I'm not a big pepper flavor smoking fan. I don't really like the burn in my nose. I like a little bit tingly, but I don't like those burned out actually give me a headache. So I tend to sway away from that. Okay, so that's why I don't smoke. Not because they're not good cigar. They're definitely good. In fact, people like Espinosa specifically for those. Espinosa make a big brand out of that 601, the Lambambas and stuff, because that's what people want. Literally, people want their nose to go on fire, go to hell, and come back. And that's what it's doing. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's like Asian people like spicy food. Same idea. You burn yourself to death. You pay for the next day on top of the toilet. You even reminiscing and look back to see how bad it was, and then you can do it again. You can do it again, and the next time before you sit down, it's like, oh, I can't wait for this spicy thing. And while you eat it, you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, and then you continue. But Espinosa, that's what people want, literally. But yeah, but. If people ask me, this is why I don't usually send cigars to people who have a lot of cigars, because I just putting burden on them. Because when I send cigars, I want to send to people that don't have it. I want to send cigar that people are looking for. For example, Joey was looking for a cigar, and I found it, and I sent it to him. And I try to do it as quick as I can, because I can understand that feeling of people looking for a specific cigar or looking for a cigar that they haven't tried. And some people are more fortunate, like myself, tend to be able to get whatever cigar that we're looking for. Now, some cigar I haven't, and that's true. But whatever I see that I know I can get, I get it. So that's why I don't particularly send cigar to people that has a lot of cigars. I think it's a burden, because now you have to find time to go like, hey, I'm gonna smoke that one, right? So for some people it's a burden. Now I tend to send, and I was talking about this yesterday actually. I tend to send cigar that I know they're gonna give you a bad time to send to smoke, because I think it's like, now good cigar is worth to spend money to smoke, right? Good cigar, worth that time, worth that money. You gotta enjoy it. You gotta feel good buying it and have smoke. Bad cigar, no, don't spend money on it, right? So what I do is I like to send bad cigar to other people, so they will smoke it one time, never spend the money for it, and never buy it again. This is why I like to do that. It sounds horrible. It's like, Tony, why do you send shitty cigar to other people? It's so that they don't have to spend the money to smoke, right? I took the risk. I bought it. It was bad, so I sent it to other people so they can smoke it and go, this is bad. Throw it away, never had to buy it. So you can contribute those money to better cigars. If that makes sense. A little late. How's the Wallow drinks and the cigar? Toast with the rare pink. Some cheers, everybody. I can't eat today, so I'm gonna do it tomorrow. If to drink something, I had to wait till tomorrow. That's why the celebration is tomorrow, Saturday. Because I specifically is on a diet. I'm on a fast. I'm on a 72-hour fast, so I have to wait 72 hours every time I eat, and I have a 3 to 4 hour window after I eat. So that's what I'm going through right now. As you can see, I'm wearing a shirt. This shirt is medium size. Medium size. Now, 2 weeks ago, I was extra large. 2 weeks ago, I was extra large. I'm back to medium, right? But the medium is still like, it has room, but I can have more room. So I will continue to do that until probably late February, and then stop. I had to lose back to where I'm comfortable with my to wear my smaller clothes, and then I'll go back to eating. So, but I have had the Waller drinks with a cigar before. It was pretty good. The Waller cigar, it really does well with the Waller drink. Without it, it's just a regular cigar, to be honest with you. Let's see. My nose always burn when I have brown mustard at the Chinese restaurant. Okay, the brown mustard is it's a mixture of mustard powder, yellow mustard seed powder, vinegar, water, and at times some people add a little bit of horseradish in there. That's what it is. So there's actually a little bit of vinegar in there in your mustard from the Chinese restaurant. That's why that gives that tanginess. But it was supposed to burn your nose. If it burns your nose, yeah, because that powder. Yeah, when you have a vapor that pushes those mustard powder to your nose, it'll burn. Smoking that Senor Isuga. Okay, go ahead. Sounds good. I mean that's a cigar you've been waiting for. If you can hold one more day, yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? Oh my god. Like, I want to smoke cigar, but I had to be very, very, very slow, very, very careful, because I don't want to feel like to vomit. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. It's a good, I think a chat session here and there. So I do enjoy answer questions, smoking cigars, and talk about things. And literally that's how I started. I mean, if you think back, way back when I first started to stream, okay, this is way back. I was in Cigars Daily Nation, and I feel like, and then they were doing chapters, and then so we have like a New England chapter, and then I was very active in the group. So at the time, I was I guess the president of the New England chapter, and and I figure one of the job of someone that's holding a chapter is to make sure everybody's entertained. So I like to entertain. I like to enjoy that, and I started streaming on Facebook, on my personal things and stuff like that, and then move it to YouTube after I figured out how to do that. And I remember my first setup was very rough because I'm just using webcam and stuff like that, and I continue to change webcam. I don't know. I probably changed over 7 years. I probably bought 10, 11 cameras to find the best setup. All right, 10, 11 cameras. Now, this camera is definitely not the best camera I have, but it was the easiest to deal with camera, right? The easiest, the least amount of setup, the most auto correcting, auto sensor, auto focus, auto everything. And this is why I use it. This is why I use it. Because I do have better camera. I mean, Joey have seen it. Like a few other people have seen it when I tried it out, tested it out. And the other one has better hue, better color, better depth and everything. But it doesn't like to auto focus. It doesn't like to do all that stuff. So the best way is really this. Now, if I was to record something else that still doesn't move around, then I use the other cameras over there. But right now, this is what I use. And I think for microphones, I think we changed microphone probably a little bit more. 11 or 12 different microphones that I've tested. 11 or 12. And majority of them were USB microphones. And I realized that USB microphone is nice, it's clean, but at the same time, it picks up everything. My heater, my background noises, my sneeze, my fart, everything. It will just record everything. So, you know, and in the end, I finally give in. I was like, you know what? I'm just using one of those DSLR. And then really the catalyst is because we're trying to do the podcast. And I feel like podcasts, because you're only enjoying that content with your headphones, your ears, right? So the quality of that voice have to be at least clean, have to be at least good, have that bass, the volume, because sometimes it's really annoying to hear a thing that had no body, no volume. Have you ever gotten any cigars from Brian from Privada? And what you think about them? Oh, well, I addressed that before actually. We bought a few different cigars to try out because you know, it's new cigar and stuff like that from the Privada Club. And the thing about that is all the one that I have tried is not particularly amazing. Is it good enough for smoke? Yes, but they're not amazing. They're not amazing cigars, and I don't think they're supposed to be. Even though they're selling at a premium, I get it. But they're not amazing per se, and I want to say that the owner, if his name's Brian, I don't know his name, is a amazing, very smart, driven, crazy, good marketing guy. All right, he was able to market the business like that, like using specific type of cigars and promote it to be a luxury cigar. So he's smart. He's smart. I mean, I can't comment on how he does his business, because everybody have a different take on it. But I think internal marketing, internal how he marketed the cigar, internal how, like, you know, what he decided to name them and ban them and stuff like that. Smart, very smart. All right, crazy smart. So, you bought a basin today? Come on, man. Why do you do this to yourself? Why do you do this to yourself? Basin, you know, basin tastes like basin. I can tell you that. That I agree. Basin tastes like basin. Well, why will you have a box of 2026 if it's left over from 2025? But basin's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. I don't know. I don't particularly like very earthy cigar, and I know every cigar has a little bit earthiness, especially the Maduros, and if it's something like natural, you probably don't have as much earthiness. Have more of a barnyard, but it's inevitable for you to say, "Hi, I'm gonna move on to Maduro as you smoke longer," right? You want more flavor, you want more body, you want more strength. You go towards Maduro, and once you go to Maduro, you know, a lot of cigars tend to get a lot more earthy, but that's not avoidable. That is the choice you made, right? That everything has pros and cons, and the cons are, you know, you get more flavor, you get nicer, darker, deeper, more manly flavor, but you also gotta get more earthy. But I don't like the earthy. Now, do I have problems smelling earth when I walk out in the rain? Not really. It's kind of pleasing, but like, I don't know if you guys do. I do sometimes. Like, I wonder where that dirt came from, right? Because dirt is basically a breakdown of everything that's out there, right? If you ever try to compost, you know what I'm saying? Break down everything, and you wonder what these earthiness came from. So you go out there, it's just finished raining, you took a whiff, you're like, fresh. And then you not only gotta smell earth, you gotta smell mulch, you gotta smell, like, you know, that sourness, that nitrogen smell, and that earthy mineral smell. And you're like, I wonder what I'm smelling. I wonder what I'm smelling. Like, is that dead animal? Is that feces? Is that compost fertilizers? You don't know. You don't know, and you're just smelling it like ah. So when I'm smoking a cigar that has earthiness, I'm thinking like, what is this closest to? A breakdown of earth from a corpse, a breakdown of earth from a vegetation, rotten vegetation, or breakdown of earth to, I don't know, feces. Which in turn most likely is vegetation too. It's like, cows and horse eat grass. That's dirt. Right? So I don't really like earthiness. It might be just my mind kind of thing. But it's there. Can't avoid it. Hey, Cat. So, yeah, you want a decent XLR for podcast? Here's the thing, right? It's our preference. And the thing is that I went online, I saw a lot of different reviews on microphone. Every single one of them sounds decent. Like, if you listen to one after another, you really can't tell. You can only really tell if somebody to use like a $500 one versus $10 one. That you can tell, right? But something like, $50 to $100, there's almost zero, almost no difference. It's your amplifier that's doing the work. It's your receiver that's doing the work, right? The rest is not. The rest is really not. Because everything can be altered and post change if you wanted to. So in terms of the XLR, I'm not gonna complain about it. I bought this because it has both input. So if it sounds like shit and I decided one day I hate it the way it is, I can just use the USB. It'll be fine. That's why I choose this one. Because you can see there's a USB right here and there's a XLR. Yeah. So another thing, I'm very excited. Congratulations to American Viking. They're releasing another cigar called Unkillable or something like that. I think that's what I heard. Unkillable. I'm excited for that cigar. I think I will definitely get one myself to try it, if not a box, because I think anything that American Viking came out, I'll probably support. Because I think that is also hard work from Tim, and I like to support everything that he kind of released, new or not. And it's not a lot to support it, and I think it makes me happy. It makes me happy to go, hey, he had a new cigar, and especially now that I know how much work it is, and how abnormal ITS is, because ITS came out in 18 months, and in usual cases, cigar will take 4, 6, 8 years to make. So I realized that afterward. I only realized how fast we got it done afterward. So after I find out, I was like, good job, Tony. Good job. You got everything done. You're annoying people enough that you got it done in a year and a half. So I know how much work it is. I'm pretty sure he's working with a lot of different people, and to say that he's gonna release another cigar for his own brand, cool, very cool. He pushes up blink. Okay, so let me think of how I'm gonna put this. He's not that he push out blend quick. He have collaborated with a lot of different brands right now to release a daily only blend, which is a tweaked version of the original blend. Which this is why it's quick, because all you have to do is tweak it, then it's a lot quicker. So it is a crazy success. It's a big success, but I don't want to downtone that. I'm just saying that that's a lot easier. So if I was to, let's say, collaborate with, let's put this in perspective, okay? In order to make the previous anniversary cigar, the Patrimonial, collab with SSL, that was done in months. That was done in months, right? They tweak the blend, they make it into box press, and it's made for SSL, and that was done in months. So that's how, I wouldn't want to say easy, how quick it is. So if he's working with multiple different company and tweak the blend and smoke them every day, then yes, you'll be able to pump out a blend every few months. Didn't realize that's what the daily edition were made that way. Yeah, so basically is he will have to go to the, like, say, talk to the owner of those brand and says, hey, I would like to make a daily edition brand. Let's collaborate. And he talked to everybody. And then say, okay, what are you looking for? And he said, well, I'm looking for this one specific cigar, but I want to make a daily edition. So, you know, let's say I'm smoking a La Ranja, and I go, La Ranja, you know, I would like to have a La Ranja SSL version, and I would like to be, let's say, a tad fatter. So it's like a Gordo, 6x54. And then, you know, I would like to add a sliver of Brazilian Matapina, because I would like to, if this one has a little bit more vanilla flower, that would be great, right? And then they will try to do that, and they will send it over to me, and I will smoke it, and I'm like, you know what, you know, it's still missing something or not, right? Or if it's not, I say, yeah, this is great, this is done, this is all set, let's go. And then they'll wait 3 months to produce those, and then once the final product comes out, smokes fine, it goes on the shelf. Right? But if there's problems, say, hey, you know what? It's still a little bit of, like, you know, kind of tastes too floral. Let's change something. I would like more vanilla beans, or change something in there that will give it more vanilla beans. They'll blend it over there, they'll roll it again, send it over, and that's how you do it. So yeah, 3 to 6 months, you'll get it done. But you gotta order big enough order in order for them to want to do that, because it does take a lot. And I think this is why we still have a lot of Patrimonio. So hey, Patrimonio, box price if you haven't tried it. The Leche Brula, I want to try that too, and I want to try that too. But then that's a DTT cigar, and usually DTT cigar to me is, it's not my style. It's not what I like. Now I know some people like it a lot. I mean, Steve Saka, definitely a good blender. He blends it for his type of people, right? And really like a man cigar. It has the body, has the flavor, has the tones, has earthiness, has pepper. Pretty strong cigar. So even though it's a daily edition, I still, in my mind, think that it's a certain way, and then I kind of have hesitation to try it. So yeah. But yeah, when you said he's touched on the blend, is basically, yeah, opinions, and tried it and approved it, and then go. And this is by no means saying that it's a lot easier. It's easier, but it's not a lot easier, because you know, there are things that you can tell them, they might not be able to do it. There are things that you imagine to be, but didn't come out a certain way. Cigar blending is like that. You know, you try, blend it, you're hoping to come out. If it's close enough, you can tweak it. If it's not close at all, you got to start from scratch. And that's one of the hard parts, to start from scratch. Okay. So yeah, cigar. Kind of excited for it. I don't know if, here's another thing, right? Every year there is the Alec Bradley, Shamrock, Filthy Hooligan, and stuff like that. I officially ran out. I smoked all the ones I bought in past years. I'm debating whether or not to buy them again. I'm debating. I don't know if I want to. The thing is that they're not the only one with Candela. They do taste somewhat enjoyable as a celebration, but it's not something that I smoke regularly. I don't smoke that every day, and it's just like one box is gonna last 20 years. Right? Think about that. One box, if I don't give it away, it lasts me 20 years. Because I smoke one a year during St. Patty's. Right? I smoke one a year. And it's just really taking up space. The box is cool. I got one of those boxes, and then just after that, it's like, I don't know. Filthy Good again. It is a good smoke. Filthy Good again. I actually have a box of it, and I enjoy that cigar a lot. In fact, that's a cigar that I share with people a lot too. Never smoked a Candela. Okay. Let's say if you didn't, I would say that you didn't miss much. What you miss is a very annoying girlfriend. Not even a girlfriend. It's a very annoying date. Smoking a Candela is like going to a very slow, painful date. Okay. Imagine going on a date with a really pretty woman. I have to say she's pretty because Candela is not ugly. So imagine going on a date with a really pretty woman. But this woman, she's not one of those like, hey, you take her to the bar, get drunk, and then next thing you know, you're in a hotel. Okay, she's not. She's like, she met you. She talked to you for like 15 minutes before she shakes your hand. All right. Hey, my name is Candela. What's your name? Oh, nice to meet you. That was good. You want to shake hand? Hold on a second. Let me get to know you a little bit better. What do you do? Like, how's your day? And she'll take all that 15 minutes before she shakes your hand. Okay, finally shake your hand. It's like, hey, let's go get a drink. She said, no. Before we do that, let's go walk the street down. Let's walk the walkway. Let's walk down that aisle. And we'll see where it goes. And you'll walk down the aisle, took another 15 minutes, and she goes, all right, now I'm a little bit hungry. It's like, what about the drink? I'm a little bit hungry now. Let's go pick up some food. Let's pick up some food. And then she chooses the longest omakase or Michelin star one restaurant that takes 3 hours to eat, all right, and barely get full. So you don't get full. You taste it. It was okay. And it took you 3 hours to eat. And then she's like, okay, now finally, we're done with this thing. We can hold hands. All right, we'll hold hands. She still haven't drunk anything yet. Hold hands. And then after that, she and you finally go to a bar, and you finally start ordering, hey, I want an old fashioned. Let's go. What would you like? She goes, I would like water. I would like water. And a cup of green tea, please. She said, after this water and the green tea, I'll decide whether or not to drink. And I, okay, fine. Water, green tea. There you go. After the water and green tea, she finally said, oh, look at the time. I gotta go. We need to have a second day. I love the day today. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. And then she left. So in the end, you finish your cigar like that. That's your girlfriend. And you go, what the hell did I go through? What the hell did I went through just to have a date with a beautiful woman? And then you will think it over again. You'll think an entire year before you say, yeah, maybe I'll call her back and see if she changed. Maybe today I can hold her hand straight. Nope. You wait a whole year. St. Patty's Day, they decide to take her out again. She started out with another 15-minute conversation before she holds your hand. That's Candela. That's Candela. You'll get very little of good stuff. You have to be very, very slow because once it burns, it's bitter. And it's very, very delicate and does not give you the amount of flavor that you're expecting. That's Candela. Why is it popular? Because it's hard to ferment it like that. It's hard to ferment your leaf to that green. But it's not necessarily the best part because inside is still regular tobacco. It's just that the outside is Candela. So yeah, it's a lame cigar, but I wouldn't say lame. I say it tests your patience. It tests your patience. It's not, and if you have enough patience, you get some grassy green tea notes. And that's pretty much it. The rest is just a cigar. So this is why you don't see people regularly smoke Candela. They don't, you know, when's the last time you guys go out and say, I'm gonna buy a whole box of Candela and smoke that? Right? When's the last time you guys do that? When's the last time I said, you know what, this week is Candela week. I'm gonna smoke Candela for 7 days and nothing but Candela? No. In fact, Candela is not even your regular rotation. Right? You would rather have 7 different girlfriends. In fact, you can have 7 of them, 3 of them whole. It'll be okay. They can have other boyfriends. Don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. But that Candela, you call her once a year. So yeah, and that's one of the things I'm thinking. It's like, should I buy another box? It really doesn't make sense because a cigar without the extra stripe, the barber pole on it to give a little bit more flavor, that thing is nothing. That's like dating that Candela and the Candela brought 2 other friends. Right? Imagine you date with somebody and she brought 2 other friends. And 2 other friends actually talk more than she did, even though they're psychics. That's the filthy hoodoo, right? Shamrock is 1 color, right? So 1 friend. And again, that 1 friend probably talked more than her. In fact, that one friend hugged you the moment that you met her. But that Candela, let's talk for 15 minutes. Let my friend talk to you for a little bit, and now we can shake hands. That's what it is. No, I don't feel as stupid to buy another basin box. You know, basin is kind of different. Basin is like your first crush. I think if I talk basin from the very beginning, I smoked the basin, and then all the way to now, I think that's like your first crush in elementary school. You remember her to be beautiful and nice and good. And then when you met her again in a few years, she is 300 pounds, full of personality, like yeehaw kind of personality, but doesn't dress well, eats with her hands, didn't brush her teeth for a month at a time. Kind of person. That's what I think basin is. It's your first crush, and then you remember her to be very well, and then when you met her, it's like, what happened? What happened to you? Like what happened? Why do you went downhill? Why do you turn to Honey Boo Boo? Why do you turn to Honey Boo Boo? Is that her name? I think that's what it is. Why do you turn to Honey Boo? That's what basin is to me right now. It just feels like long time ago it was good, and now it's just what happened to me. All right, to me. And some people might still like it, you know. Sometimes first crush has a special place, but for me, that's what it is. I remember it used to be very, very, very good. I smoked a few of them. That was very, very good. And then as the time goes, I smoke another one. It's like, what happened? And it's like, you know what? Give another year, try another one. What happened? No. It's too risky. And every year you're hoping that when you call her back, she's gonna lose weight. But I think the truth that she haven't. What am I smoking? I am smoking the La Ronja Reserva. Yeah, I can't really see it. Okay, La Ronja Reserva. There we go. Something light, because I don't have food. Even this makes me feel like I'm the borderline between getting sick and not getting sick, but I like to eat. I dangerous, but I would like to have a cigar. I like to have a conversation. So, and this is what I do a lot too. Like when I try to explain a certain cigars, I try to give people a story, not just the flavor. Because I think here's the problem. Everybody tastes flavor differently. But the impression is the same, right? When I explain to you what Candela is like, wouldn't that give you a better image than telling you what it tastes like? Because what I taste might not be what you taste. And we talked about this the other day in the chat room. It's like some people came out with the craziest you know, this is the Swiss chocolate from like, you know, this town in Swiss and only that store makes it, da 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 da. You know, that's not gonna help you to determine how a cigar really tastes like, is it good or not, because I've never been to that store. But if I describe it as something that some person you'll meet, maybe you get a better impression of how that cigar's gonna treat, right? Because there are some people that only judge cigar by this is good and this is bad. This is good, this is bad. That's it. I like it, I don't. You know, not everybody can taste the flavor. And here's the thing, because they taste the flavor as one single entity, right? When you puff the cigar, it gives you that one single entity before your taste buds starts to separate the flavor for you. A lot of people smoke cigar, and I think that would be majority. I can safely say majority. Is that they taste that one taste. They taste a combination of all tastes. Like imagine you go to a 7-Eleven, get a big gulp, and you just go through every single soda and just add them all together. You taste one single entity. And they haven't got to a point where they can like taste Dr. Pepper, where you get a multitude of different flavors. They taste one, and then determine whether or not they like that one combination. But that's just same thing as me telling you what personality is. If I try to tell you like I taste chocolate from this, all right, I get chocolate, but if you give me any more detail than that, it's hard, right? There's a difference between telling you that this tastes like a hazelnut chocolate than a Ferrero Rocher chocolate, right? Think about a standard hazelnut filling chocolate. Think about Ferrero Rocher. They're similar, but they're very different. And unless you taste it, you don't know. You don't know, right? Or if I tell you that it tastes like, you know, that specific steak seasoning that Gordon Ramsay uses, what does that taste like? That steak seasoning, Gordon Ramsay uses that steak seasoning. It was great. That tastes like the ultimate seasoning from Gordon Ramsay. Unless you ate that before, you wouldn't know. So the simplest way is to tell you that's spice. That's spice. That tastes like steak seasoning. But when you go elaborate, you go very, very detailed of what it is, I don't think anybody's gonna get it. Unless that person specifically tastes it. Like, even if I say, hey, this thing tastes like Chinese fried rice. You know how many different kind of Chinese fried rice is there? Like, every store is different. There is literally a restaurant in China that got famous for selling Chinese fried rice, and they sell nothing but fried rice. Their fried rice is just that good. They sell nothing but fried rice. And here's the thing. Their fried rice has nothing in it. It's just rice, eggs, and scallion. Rice, eggs, scallion. But they taste different from the seasoning and whatever rice they choose. So when I say tastes like fried rice, it could be any fried rice. In my mind, I could be thinking about that fried rice from that store that only sells fried rice. But what you're thinking is probably like from Three Gorges down the street. Or Uncle Chan down the street. Different. So cigar flavor, subjective. When you put too much detail, it actually makes it harder to pinpoint. And especially how detailed it is. Because of how detailed it is, it makes it even harder for you to find that flavor, right? If I tell you that tastes like cherry chocolate, black cherry chocolate, you will gotta search for that black cherry chocolate flavor. You will ignore if it all it tastes like was chocolate. If all it tastes like was cocoa, you're gonna ignore that. You say, I don't taste it. I don't taste it because that's not what you're looking for, right? A black cherry chocolate tastes very different than the chocolate or cocoa. So you gotta ignore cocoa and you feel like you never taste anything. You're like, I can't find that chocolate. What are you talking about? Because your mind is thinking that chocolate, not this chocolate. So you never find it. You never find it. But if somebody say, I taste cocoa, that's a lot easier to find, right? any flavor remotely like cocoa, you'll be like, oh yeah, that tastes like cocoa. Right? Big difference. Right? So I think that's what, when we describe flavors, it's gotta be as simple as possible. As simple as possible. Or describe a situation that you can actually remind yourself. Like if I say, like, have you you guys ever walked by Solar Tablet? Solar Tablet? Have you guys ever walked by Solar Tablet? In the mall? I think that's what's called, Solar Tablet. Have you guys ever walked by that? If I say this thing tastes like that smell from walking by a Solar Tablet when they have a cooking class, you probably will be able to understand that smell because you've been there. You don't have to actually taste it. You've been there, you'll probably be able to recall what that tastes like. But if I say it tastes like a roasted garlic with the onion with a combination of pork lard and stuff like that, if I just start adding it in, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that is the problem with a lot of people that are saying, hey Tony, I'm watching all the other reviewers, they're telling me that this cigar tastes like heaven. There's like every single thing they name in there is heaven, but when I smoke it, it doesn't taste it. It's because you, first of all, you never tasted that. You never tasted anything that they have mentioned. All right, that's number one. Or you taste it, it never made a big impression. Okay, you don't eat that regularly. So you're never gonna be able to find it. That's first, right? And number two is so detailed that unless it's exact, you're not gonna taste it. Even if you know, unless it's exact, you're not gonna taste it. Right? And people from Texas, if I say it tastes like barbecue sauce, you telling me that all barbecue sauce tastes the same? Like, can you guys honestly, from people from Texas, that, you know, master of barbecue, okay? You're telling me that all Texas barbecue sauce tastes the same? They don't. So me saying barbecue, you might think of like, oh, that barbecue, the sweet Louisiana, whatever barbecue sauce. Or you're thinking about Texas, like barbecue rubs sauce or something. You know, you don't know. You don't know why you're looking for, because it's so specific. Texas barbecue sauce. What does that taste like? What does Texas barbecue sauce taste like? Right? Unless you taste it, you don't know. Like, can you even recall this? Like, if I right now, as I say, imagine sriracha. Can your mind immediately point out and remind you how sriracha tastes like? How many people can actually say, I know exactly how sriracha tastes like? If I go through a blind test of 50 different spice, 50 different hot sauce, I can tell exactly which one is sriracha. Sriracha branded sriracha sauce. Right? You can't. Or they're just making crap out, just sound fancy to help drive sale on a brand that they love or have a relationship with. Well, that is part of it. I'm not gonna lie, this industry does that. That is part of it. But in order to make it sound fancy, they need to find something similar, right? You cannot say, okay, if this is a not Candela. Let's say this is a Connecticut cigar. And if they made up, say this thing tastes like Belgian waffle with chocolate syrup on top, that's too far away. That's too far away, right? You know it's not gonna taste like that. So it has to be something that's close enough, or something that's similar. Because even if you don't taste it, you need to find something similar. And here's a problem too, right? You know that those people who came out and talk about the different flavors, is that I don't think the owner of those brands will ever come on and talk about those blend taste like. They'll give you very simple notes, like I just told you, like, you know, cocoa, coffee, roasted coffee, nutty, earthiness. They will say those things, but they wouldn't be like, I blend this thing to specifically taste like German waffle. Oh, Belgian waffle, sorry. Belgian waffle. I specifically blend this to taste like Belgian waffle. They won't. They won't admit to it, and they won't talk about it because he doesn't. Because he doesn't. And taste is subjective. And from that subjective thing, it gives you hope. And you go get it, you're not gonna find it. Again, this is why I like to send crappy cigar to people. Because if you knew it was crappy, you won't spend the money on it. You won't waste your money. Right? I already bought it. I have it. I'm not gonna smoke it. Send it out. These dudes be sounding like pretentious wine sommelier. The whole thing is marketing scheme to say the one thing that may drive you to make a purchase. Yes. And it sucks. But here's the thing. I don't know if I can even criticize that. Because that's their job. Right? I don't know if I can criticize that. Because that's job. That's what they're meant to do. So I can't even blame them for it. Right? That's a job. Like which restaurant comes to on TV? Let's say like you saw a restaurant commercial. Let's say, hey, come over here and eat our food because our food tastes like shit. It doesn't happen, right? So you can't even blame them because that's their job is to make you interested in certain cigar and then taste on your own. And once you taste on your own, you can make your own judgment, right? But by then you already spent one. You bought one, right? Or about box. So it is their job to make something normal sound fancy. Everything has a multiple ways to say it. So your own life experience changes the way you pick up taste note because it plays in memory life. Yes, it depends on what you tried it, what you have tasted. If you never taste it, you never know, right? If you never taste it, you never know. You can taste a note that you never taste before because you have never eaten it, right? If I was to say like it tastes like scorpion, unless you ever eat scorpion, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know, right? And you might have tasted now. You might have like maybe you literally taste the experience the scorpion, but you don't know because you never taste scorpion to know that that's scorpion. Pretty much everything out there is a sales tactic because like Cigar Aficionado. The whole purpose of Cigar Aficionado is to interest you to buy cigar. Isn't it? The whole purpose of Cigar Aficionado magazine is so that you will see different cigar and be interested by it. The whole purpose of the top 25 or top 10, top 20 is to drive you to smoke those cigars. So yeah, it's marketing, but that's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose. And here's the thing: without them doing that, you probably wouldn't try some of your favorite cigar today. If they never did that and never drive you to smoke certain cigars, you probably will never find the cigar you like because you're not willing to try any other one. I've gotten notes from a cigar that I've never experienced for years at time, like childhood. I've gotten notes from a cigar that I haven't experienced for years at times, like childhood food spicy, that are seldomly used. I'm gonna read that again. I have gotten notes from a cigar that I haven't experienced for years at a time. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, some stuff that will reminisce, like, okay, I don't know how many people does this. There are times where I go out there, open the door, and I smell the earth, the after the rain, fresh air. It reminds me of my childhood. It reminds me of like the New Year's, cold day, open the door, go to the shop just down the hill, because I live in the farm area when I was very young. run down the hill, and it was fresh air. It was earthy because it was near a farm. And sometime a scent will remind you of your child. And that's why I never talk about the top list. You will never catch me care about the ranking. That's the thing, right? I think right now you can go online and find 20, 30 different cigar reviewers, top 10 lists, top 20 lists, and stuff like that. And some of them might be the same, but most of them are different. Most of them are different. And that just tells you that ranking, who's to say which one is good, right? I like certain food that my wife absolutely hates, but I can say that's the best thing. I told my wife, every best food in the world stinks. The king of every food, every category food, stinks. So if I eat something that stinks, she didn't like it, I said that's because that's the best food out there. Stinks. Because they ferment it. So. But she chose to disagree. I mean, if you go to a restaurant that stinks, you probably wouldn't want to eat there. But for me, if I walk by and smell something like people are in the restaurant eating something that stinks, that must be good. Because they will deal with that stinkiness and still eat it. Grabbing the father must know sometimes I tend to. Yeah, I like that smell. I like that smell. That fresh air, cold, blisk type of smell. But I that's just me. That's just me. So yeah, those things are meant to do that. The list is meant to do that. And that's what it is. Try everything. Remember what you like and what you didn't like. Didn't need to be more complicated than that. Yeah, and then that's the thing. But understand what you like and what you didn't like are two separate things. Okay. Okay. What you didn't like is not because you didn't like the cigar overall. It's because there is something in that cigar that has crossed your bottom line. Bottom line. All right. A cigar crossed your bottom line, became a bad cigar. All right. And a good cigar is the cigar has provided more than enough of what you like. So they're two very different things. One crossed your bare minimum. So it could be a great cigar. It could be a very, very good cigar, all right? But you absolutely hate Kentucky Fire Cure. So if this cigar is a good cigar, but it has one sliver of Kentucky Fire Cure, that cigar went from best cigar to horrible cigar. Why? Because it crossed your bottom line. So a lot of cigars are right in between. So I don't give you anything particular. I don't give you anything too big, right? That's where it sits. But sometimes you gotta find a cigar with the right combination that give you 2 or 3 things that you like a lot, and that become your liked cigar. And then there's gotta be few cigar where it has one thing, that one thing you absolutely your bottom line, the deal breaker, a deal breaker, just one thing, one deal breaker makes it bad cigar. So sometimes a bad cigar is not really as bad, it's because it has one deal breaker. So I want to put it out there because I think a lot of people when they hear bad cigar, they think that is absolutely a deal breaker. But a lot of times it's because that person who's smoking it tastes one flavor, one note, or one nuance of their deal breaker. And if you have one deal breaker, it could be the best cigar is gone. That cigar you'll not enjoy it. You will not enjoy it. Right? You can have the most beautiful woman. I'm talking about 6 feet tall, long leg, got boob, got ass, got the dress very nicely, long ass hair tied to whatever you want. She's ready to do whatever you ask, but when she talks like, hey, how you doing? Deal breaker. Sorry, I can't. What are you talking about? I think we have a good date. Let's go. I just realized I got something to do. I'll call you back. I'll call you. One deal breaker. That's all it takes. The woman could be perfect. Perfect. 10 out of 10. As soon as she open her mouth, you're like, no, sorry. And cigars like that. One deal breaker could be a bad cigar. A good cigar, there's a huge range between an okay cigar and a good cigar. So how about you having a good cigar, but every time you smoke it is plugged? One draw have several different sight, but draws the same plug. Those were these were Sosa, not trying to call them out. I think you had a typo maybe. But the draw are the same plug. Those were not trying to call them out. Okay. I think I will still be able to enjoy it. For example, okay, Magic Toast. I complain this all the time. Magic Toast is like gambling. And every other one I smoke has a stem in it. Every other one I smoke is plugged. But then I still try to smoke them because they were a good cigar. Now the plug can be kind of saved by pulling out a stem or something like that. So that's not a deal breaker for me. Sosa cigars? Oh, I don't know much about them. I don't know much about them, but that cigars. Hey, according to Roja cigar, that's flavor. But I think cigar plugging happens to me a lot, but that doesn't stop me from smoking it. If it's a cigar that tastes good, I'll still smoke it. I'll complain about it, but I'll smoke it. It's like a regular girlfriend, right? You love your girlfriend. She does everything right, but there are things that you have. There's always something that you want to complain about her. So it's like that. A cigar is meme is not avoidable per se, but if you find a brand that tend to do that, you know, it's up to your choice to whether or not to take that risk. I'm pretty sure in a batch of 20, there's gotta be one that's good, but is it to you? Is it worth it to risk that 1 out of 20? Right? And here's the thing. Ooh, what does that taste? That tastes pretty nice. Tastes like cookies. Maybe because I'm hungry. That's personal preference. Some people like tight draw, some people don't. And here's the thing, like, you know, for me, I like very loose draw. So for me, a lot of cigar that might have an acceptable draw for some people is considered not acceptable to me. Okay. So that's like personal preference. Some people, they have big lungs, so they can take a really strong draw. And to them, a medium or slightly plugged cigar is loose to them. For me, I don't have a big lung. I'm a tiny guy. I'm an Asian. So any resistance to a certain point, I wouldn't like it. I want to lose. Like, I want to be able to just puff through. I wanted to get as much smoke per draw as possible. If I don't get that, if I can't blow out smoke, that's too tight. But that's also a personal preference. Because everybody, okay, there are some cigars that's just solid plug. Nobody can take a draw. Okay, there are some cigars like that. But I'm saying majority of cigar, if you were able to pull out one stem, it usually corrects the issue. I'm going to start lighting my cigar with scented candle. Why? That's not gonna change anything. The scented candle, the flame itself has no flavor. It's the oil that's burning that has flavor. So you're not gonna be able to transfer much flavor into your cigars. Yes. So sometimes, let's say if I had a plug cigar, if you were able to make it from circle to oval, it opens up the space and opens up the room to get a draw. I do that myself too. Okay, I do that myself too. So if I'm smoking a cigar that is just barely tight, I will press it. I'll find the stem on it. I'll go around and find it and find out where it is, and that's where the point I'll press down. I'll press down on the part where the hard stem is at. So the hard stem will push the cigar, the tobacco to the side. Okay, push the tobacco to the side, then you have more room to puff. But keep in mind that cigar still probably gotta burn unevenly. Like, pretty much every cigar is gonna burn unevenly in a way, in certain, to a certain multitude, it's a certain level. If it's not round. If you can light your cigar with a sleeve of cedar, I'm going to use a gingerbread cookies in the candle. But it does not make your cigar infused. So now you're smoking an infused cigar. Right? Now you're not really enjoying the cigar. You're enjoying the cigar as infused cigars. But if you want an infused cigar, why don't you just go buy an infused cigar? That's the thing, right? The reason why people use cedar spill is not because it gives you a lot of cedar taste. It's because cedar taste doesn't ruin the cigar taste. Okay? It's because cedar spill, that cedar taste, does not ruin your cigar flavor. So getting more cedar in your cigar doesn't ruin the flavor. That's why you use it, you know? So when you light up your cigar, most people are complaining, so I don't use Zippos because it stinks. Right? Don't use a regular match because it stinks. Like, you will stink up your cigar. So using the cedar spill, it doesn't stink because your cigar naturally have some woodsy cedar taste. So it wouldn't ruin it. That's why people use it. Not because it's gotta infuse that much. Maybe the first 2 puffs, maybe, and you can smell it around you. But that's pretty much it. It's not that. It's so that it doesn't ruin your cigar. It doesn't ruin the flavor of your cigar. You're not gonna get that much cedar flavor in your cigar by doing it. Right? You just lighting it up. Once you light it up, you off. When you do this, when your cigar is on the side, you're doing this to get rid of the cedar and put it down. That cedar flavor is pretty much gone. The cedar that you're tasting is literally the cedar that's flying around right now. That's the once you burn it, your whole room smells like cedar. You can get the same experience, just burn the cedar and then light up your cigar. Same thing. Same thing. You're not gonna get that. That cedar isn't gonna infuse the entire cigar. No. Because flame has no flavor. Flame has no flavor. It's the fuel that has flavor. Right? When you're burning a cedar, it's not much fuel to it. But when you're burning a lighter fluid, yeah, that thing stinks. Right? Have you ever tried to do barbecue and then just put like lighter fluid on your charcoal and the whole entire thing just tastes like lighter fluid? Yeah, because that's the fuel, and the vapor and the air carry that fuel into your cigar, so it's gotta stink. But cedar is just wood oil. There's not much to it, so it won't ruin your cigar. Some people don't like the matches because the standard match has that flavor, has that thing going on. So when you light it up, you have that stink. But let's be very fair, is that that's only your first few puffs. It's not your entire cigar. It's your first few puffs. It goes away. People pay too much attention to that. I know people light cigar with whatever they got. Whatever they got. It really doesn't matter, doesn't bother them, right? You know, just because you light your cigar with campfire does not make it campfire taste. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you decide to use a barbecue fire to light up your cigar, you get a few puffs of that, and that's it. The end. The end. You're not gonna keep tasting that. So the only reason you use a cedar spill is because it doesn't ruin your cigar. Okay. So I'm glad that somebody asked about that, so we can talk about that. And most of the time depends on the cigar. Beginning is a pepper bomb. You know, here's a funny part. I can honestly tell you the entire cigar tastes like the pump. If you can taste the beginning to be a pepper bomb, the entire cigar is pepper bomb. Believe it or not, you just got used to it. Have you ever go to eat something really spicy and after the first few bites was more tolerable? It's like that. The pepper is so strong in the very beginning that it burns your nostril, it burns your taste bud. But you got used to it after that. So it doesn't burn you as much. Whenever it wears out, then you start to burn you again. That's when you think the pepper came back. It's really because your taste bud has repaired itself and then starts to taste it again. All right. Have you ever had a whiskey? The first drink is burning. After that, the second, third is good. Right? First sip burns. After that, everything's good. Why? You got used to it. Now your taste bud is ready. You're not gonna feel that burn again, or not as much burn again. That's what it is. So when you smoke it, it has pepper. It dies down because you got used to it. Your taste bud got used to it. Reorganizing. That's why. I did that. It does make the cigar more sweet. But it's a hassle. I really feel like I'm not smoking the cigar that I'm smoking when I did that. It's a hassle. It's not. It's no different than smoking an infused cigar. And here's the thing, like I'd much rather just take a drink. Because that it's gonna ruin some of the good flavor in your cigar too. It gives you some flavor, it takes away some flavor. There's pros and cons to everything. So I wouldn't recommend people do that. It's fun as a gimmicky thing to do, but I don't recommend people doing that. There's no point to it. I think I did that one time, and I never had the thought to do it again, even though it did taste sweeter. I never had the thought to dip my cigars or just wipe it over. It's too much work for an increase in sweetness. We all smoke cigars that we know what it's gonna taste like and enjoy it. And you enjoy it because the flavor. How do I describe that? If I love something, it does not need to be masked to a certain way in order for me to love it. Have you ever had a CI knockoff? I don't know what you mean by CI knockoff. I don't know what you mean by CI knockoff. The brand they sell? No. I don't think I tried it. I don't buy a lot of cigars from CI. I rarely does, if any. CI is definitely not one place that I go search for cigar. Yeah, I have never tried that. I have never tried it. It could be. Here's the thing, okay? This is good. When they say long filler, they're not always all long filler. The definition of long filler only requires like I think 80% long filler. So I think a lot of house blend or budget cigars, they are short fillers. They're short fillers, but it does not mean they're 100% short fillers. Okay, obviously the wrapper is not short. The binder is not short. Right, the binder is a full leaf. So, just because they say it's long filler does not mean it's 100% long filler. If you could Google it, you'll find you know what I mean. Long filler does not mean 100% long filler. Long filler just means that a certain percentage is long filler, and or they can say mixed filler. Some say mixed filler, some say long filler. And for premium cigar, I think premium cigar has been more than 80% long filler. Because there's no way to get them all long filler. Have you opened up a cigar before? There's still crumb falling out. There's still little leaves falling out. The other one that makes a good long ash. I talk about this about long ash. And especially if you smoke the ITS before, is that long ash does not really what you think it is. Because people think a long ash is a symbol of a good tobacco. I think some people say that before. That's what, it's a good craftsmanship, it's good quality tobacco. That's why you get long ash. But that's not really the reason why you get long ash. That's not really the reason you get long ash. The reason that you don't get very, very long ash with ITS is because they burn and they at the even rate and it flicks off. In order to get a long ash, it means that you have consistently have a cone this way. All right, this way. You gotta have consistently a cone that points out. So if you have a flat like this, the ash falls off, right? If you have a flat even burn, ash falls off. There's nothing supporting it. But if you have a cone in there, the ash will tend to stay because now every layer of the ash is a cone. So they have the ash behind it to support it up, right? Every layer. Just think that it burns in layers, right? So every layer is a cone that supported the ash in the front so it doesn't fall off. And basically, at any time the ash starts to curl, it's because the cone is not as tall in certain layers. All right, the cone is shorter or longer. That will affect the ash, sustaining that ash. So if anybody wants long ash, that's easy. I'll just put a very slow burning stuff in the middle. You can choose a tobacco that burns extremely slow, extreme slow. Expect that. Okay, imagine if I have a cigar that the inside never burns. All right, imagine I have a cigar that has a steel tube in the middle, never burns. That entire thing will be an ash. It will not fall. Why? Because it's a support, right? Are we clearing that? Imagine you have a cigar in there where the inside never burns, only burns the outside. So by the end of you smoking it, you have a long ash. Why? Because the support, right? So it's not necessarily the best tobacco or best construction. It was made that way so that the inside burns slower than the outside. Now, if the inside burns slower than the outside, you always have a cone. You always have a cone, and the cone will support that. So it's part of the blending. You put the stuff that burns slow inside, and put the stuff that burns fast outside. Let the knockoff Cohiba sit for 3-4 months. Not saying that there's Cohiba. But, all right, when you let the cigar sit, it takes away flavor. All right, aging tobacco, that's what it is. Aging cigar is what it is. It's to take away flavor, take away sharpness, take away things that might not be so pleasant, right? If you smoke a cigar, it's really like sharp and like sour and like ammonia and stuff like that. If you leave it long enough, it goes away. It becomes smooth because the flavor got taken away. So any bad cigar, if you leave it long enough, gets closer to no flavor. It will always get better because no flavor is better than bad flavor. No flavor is better than better than bad flavor, right? Because you would rather drink a water that has no flavor than a water that tastes like shit, right? So for a cigar, the reason why we age it is because when it's young, when it's fermented, when it's done, it has so much other flavor in there that is your deal breaker. Thus, you didn't like it. Now, as the flavor gets carried away, the deal breaker gets to a acceptable level. You feel like that cigar is better. The cigar did not get better. The cigar got lighter. The strain got lighter. The cigar got lighter. It got more smooth. Thus, you think the cigar got better. The cigar itself, aging it, does not make it more flavorful. It does not make it more flavorful. You can't make it more flavorful. Why are you injecting in there? Right? It's like putting a guy in a dark room and expect that person come out smarter. Think about that. You're not putting anything into it. You're only taking things out of it because water goes in there and lift things out. That's why it's on your cello. Your cello turning color is because those things got lifted out and it goes on your cello. So it's only removing stuff. So if you say something that's gotten good or better because you're aging it, it's because there was deal breaker flavor in there that you didn't like, and then you remove it, right? And ammonia, it's only part of it. A lot of cigar nowadays they go through this like heated room that removes the ammonia, and they just didn't put it long enough. But honestly, I kind of feel like if you have a lot of those cigars and put in the same humidor, all that ammonia is gonna circulate. It's gonna make all the other cigars taste bad. They all gotta get an even amount of that spread of ammonia, and they all gotta taste bad. So if you have a cigar that's had a lot of ammonia and didn't like it, just leave the box open and air it out. Don't put it in the humidor. Let it sit. You'll find that it's actually better. Okay, so if you got a whole box and then you smoke one, it's like, this thing tastes like ammonia. Keep the box open, leave it out somewhere. Leave it out somewhere. It's okay if it's gotta dry up. Just don't touch it. If you don't touch it, dry up is fine. Let it dry up, then introduce it to an environment that has humidity. That water is gonna go in there, fill all the empty thing. So let all the bad moisture in there that carry the flavor in there that has ammonia taste to go out. Leave first, dry it out completely. Then you introduce your fresh water. So all you have left is no ammonia. Ammonia and oil don't mix, right? So if you get lifted out, so if you leave it, air it out, it's gonna dry up. It's the water is gonna carry those ammonia with it. Okay, and then you introduce to fresh, nice water, humidity. That cigar is gonna taste better. A lot quicker. You don't need to let it sit for 3 or 4 months. If ammonia is what bothers you, leave it out for a week. Let it dry up. Put it in humidor for a week. Try it again. Serious. Try that. It's science. Science doesn't lie, and it's just the way it is. You take the water is gonna move those ammonia and stuff out of it. Oil is gonna stay on top. You put it back in there, the water's in there, enough, smoke. Okay. So that's one of those things that people think that you had to age for a long time to get rid of some flavor. Sometimes it does, the deal breaker is not that big of a deal. It could be lifted by drying it up. Right? Some people got like a fresh box, they open the box, they smell paint. Okay. Good to know. I always use a different humidor for those. Yeah, sometimes you open the box, it smells like paint. But when you go to a cigar shop, though, they don't smell like paint. But when you buy a brand new box, it smells like paint. Why? Because they just let it open it up. Open up the box, let it air out. The paint goes away. Some moisture on the surface dries up. Paint smell goes away. So you don't really need to make it that complicated. It's not that complicated. Cigar is a simple thing. Oil, something that's combustible, and water. All right. Oil that has flavor, something that's combustible, leaf, and water. Tabernacle does taste better aged because Tabernacle is quite strong. Right? Majority of... All right. So I tell people not to age Connecticut. Connecticut isn't going to get better. All right? At best, you get more cedar because you have to use cedar tray. Connecticut doesn't get better. All right? The best you can do is remove some taste. But if you got some really nice Maduros, strong that gets you sick every time stuff, and you let it age longer, let it remove some strains, let it remove some of that flavor, it gets really more. It gets a lot more smooth, and because it got a lot more smooth, it's actually tasty. So yes, Maduros, I can recommend people age them, especially if you got something like Padron 50th or 60th, those are quite strong. But if you let it sit for a little bit, let some of that strength mellow out, you will be able to enjoy it more if you don't have to worry about the strength. You will enjoy the cigar more if you don't have to worry about the strength. Now, a lot of bigger guys, they don't care because they're big. So, right? They're big and they don't care about the strength. But if you don't have to worry about strength, you can take a bigger puff. You can get more flavor in your mouth. Yeah, it's going to taste better. But majority of the time, I tell people to do Maduros because there's more to lose. There's too much. Too much for you. It's too strong, too earthy, too whatever on a Maduro. Fine. Put it, let it sit, let some stuff come out. And now it became a very smooth and very good cigar. But if you have something like Connecticut, there's nothing there to start with. Connecticut barely tastes like anything. And now you remove some more, that the Connecticut really gotta taste nothing, like nothing. It's gotta taste like where you put it. You put it in the plastic container, it's gotta taste like plastic. You put it in a wooden container, it's gotta taste like wood. But if you really just want wood, take a cedar spill and suck on it. Right? So that's what I tell people. There's no point to, there's no reason to do that. So I don't have any tabernacle, thank God. Thank God. I don't have any tabernacle. Tabernacle will get me sick even normally. Because I smoke way too fast. So I know, like, if I don't let the cigar set to a point where the strength goes away, I can't smoke them because I'll get sick. Like, especially diesel cigars. Guardian of the Farm and diesel cigar are two cigars that gets me sick a lot. A lot. I don't know why. Guardian of the Farm, every time I smoke a Guardian of the Farm, I get sick. Don't. I know Tabernacle is a nice cigar. I've smoked them before, but anti-stomach, not a good idea. Not a good idea. I had to smoke it very slow. And I think it'll still catch me afterward. Like 30 minutes after I'm done with the string, I walk away. I'm like, oh, I'm dizzy now. Question for you. How come they say that Cuban cigar had to sit for 5 years? Because they're underaged. Not 5 years. I would say 3 years. 3 years. So back in the day, there is plenty of Cuban cigars. Not every country gets cigar. Not a lot of people smoke cigars, so their production rate are not the same as today. Today, the whole world, everywhere except US, smokes Cuban cigar, and and cigar has been more and more and more, and their production has been less and less and less. And because they rush it through it, their soil gets less and less rich. The soil gets less and less rich. So the flavor doesn't develop nearly as fast. Their fermentation are rushed through. So their cigar didn't sit long enough for the flavor to marinate. Okay, so we talked about this before, okay? When you blend a cigar, you blend together. Every flavor is on its own layer. They have not married. Think of it as a cake that has multiple layer cake, like those rainbow cake that has 7 layers. Rainbow cake. Think about that. When you first get your underaged rolled cigar, that's what they are. They are layers of different flavors stacked on top of each other. And they might not work well with each other. They don't know each other, all right? They don't know each other. Like a basketball team that has 5 random people, all right? They don't know each other. They don't know how to work each other. They have not married the flavor. And the thing about that is once they marry, they create a flavor profile, because now they are together now, and they start to separate by your taste bud. They start separated by your taste bud. So when there are layers, you might taste 1 or 2 things, and those things are overpowering the rest of the thing. You might not taste anything. So the cigar is boring, right? Or the cigar might just have individual tastes. They don't work with each other. It's like drinking tea and then drinking bourbon at the same time. They don't work with each other. And as you put them together, the flavors start to mix, right? Different layer, different tobacco, the flavors start to mix. We call that marry. They marry together. So when they marry, they create a different taste. They create a complete product. Cuban cigar, they're not ready. They don't marry that fast. There's not a lot of flavor in there for them to marry, because number one, the soil is not very enriched because they rush through it. They don't fix it. And their production is rushed because now they have the whole world to distribute to. Think about it. Small country, Cuba, had to distribute cigar to the whole world. Every country that sells cigars. So they had to do it really quick, really quick, really quick. As soon as they have it, they don't let it sit on the shelf. They don't let it sit in the aging room to age for a little bit, let the flavor marry. They send it out. So the cigar you got is not perfect. You still have ammonia, you still have bugs, you still have beetles, you still have leftover remnants, you still have those layers things that have not married. So to get the best experience, you need to let it sit. You need to let it sit. So this is why they say when you get Cuban cigar, you need to let it sit, because based on the production, you had to distribute to the whole world. You don't have time for the sit. Now, in the US, the cigar are aged in the room. After you roll it, they let it sit 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And by the time it's 90 days, the flavor doesn't really change. You just get stronger or lighter. That's it. So there are a lot of cigar that was created when they first blended, it was great. You try it 30 days later, it tastes like shit because they didn't marry well. The flavor doesn't work with each other. So nobody's gonna sell your cigar that there was rolled today. The blend is just done today, and then for you to do that, except Padron. Padron was made so that you taste the layer. Okay, Padron was just they age the tobacco and they roll the tobacco and then done. That's done. They don't age it. But every other cigar, because they're meant to be smoked quickly and enjoyed right away, they are aged in the aging room before they give it to you. So that flavor already been married. Cubans, they don't do that. They don't have time for that. They don't have the production. Imagine how big of area they need to keep all the tobacco enough to fill the world. Not just La Casa, but every place that sells Cuban. They don't have that storage. They just pump it out and get it out. Pump it out, get it out. There's not enough in the world. There's not enough. Everybody's looking for it. So they don't let it sit. And because they don't let it sit, you don't get the full experience. The cigar is not as good. So the only way to get it better, let it sit. Let it sit. Remove some of the bad taste. Add, marry more of the flavor together. Now it's acceptable cigar. And here's the thing, because some are better than others. Some might need shorter time, some might need longer time, and then we usually say the safest bet is 3 years. 3 years. That way you don't have to be disappointed, because 3 years guaranteed together. 5 years too long. Let something sit for 5 years. You're removing a lot of stuff. But 3 years, in fact, I think sometimes 1 year is enough. Especially something like a Maduro, like a darker Cuban. Let it sit for a year is enough. Okay, so that's what people don't realize. And a lot of people don't even think about it, because a lot of people buy Cuban cigar to collect and they don't smoke it unless there's something going on. So they don't even think about it, because they have this practice way before we warn people and say, hey, you had to put it for that X amount of time, because they have that habit to start with. They buy it back, they put it in there, they buy, I found this nice cigar, I'm gonna collect it, I'm gonna leave it and smoke it in a couple of years. They already do that to start with. So it's not being mentioned, not because there was not enough anymore. People start to realize that because when they bought, they ran out and they bought a box and then smoked the box. Hey, this thing doesn't taste right. So that's why people start to say, hey, you need to let that sit. In the past, you don't have to. Nowadays, you do. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. Good question. Good question. See, it's like this is what I'm talking about the other day. It's like, I feel like those knowledge are actually quite basic. If you smoke in the industry long enough, you'll know. But the truth is that you don't. The truth is that we don't know everything. So sometimes if you put it on the chat, you put it on this question, even though it might sound silly, it might dive into a much deeper answer. We might be able to dive into a much deeper answer. And this is one of the reasons why Cigar Group exists, is to interact with each other, is to exchange knowledge. And you'll find when you join a group, you'll find that some of the stuff that might not be correct, and some of the stuff might have a backstory to it, and now you know why. Not just this is the way, but why this is the way, and what are the alternatives, right? Knowing what is the alternatives makes it different. So this is why the Legion, when it's active it really distributes a lot of knowledge. It really exchanges a lot of ideas, recommendations on what to do, and questions, and why, like, you know, sometimes like you taste a cigar that didn't taste right, you might be able to compare note with somebody else. It's like, hey, hey Fabian, hey, what's going on? Like I just smoked this cigar. I used to have it. It was great, and today it was bad. Have you tried that recently? And like, yeah, I tried it recently. It would taste like shit too. I don't know what happened. You know, you don't know something changed until you compare note with someone else. So having a group, that's a perk. That's a perk. Okay. All right. So I'm done with my cigar, and I think we had a good conversation. Tomorrow I have a show, so we don't have to go too long, or even though it's almost 2 hours. I don't know how that was possible, but I enjoyed talking to you guys and enjoyed the cigar over here. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. It was quick. It was just me rambling on, talking about different stuff, but I hope you learned something, right? And then tomorrow we'll be right here with a drink, celebrating the birthday of Shadow Smoke's Legion, and I hope you guys will be here. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, guys.